Hello, everybody, and welcome to another stream. Hopefully, you had as good as a week as could be had, and thanks so much for stopping by. Here is as usual, I'm trying to do some of the updates in the beginning. I wasn't able to do as much as I would have liked from kind of like the gameplay aspect of things. It was like a little bit of just bug searching for an issue that I had with mantling and also trying to make the player not jump other over other characters, like climbing on top of other characters, which, the way the ALS was set up, it didn't it accounted, you're gonna mantle, you're gonna climb on top of something, and it doesn't really matter what it is. So that kind of introduced a little bit of bugs, so I was able to solve that. Also, this week was more of a world building kind of a week, so to speak. So let me show you a little bit of the updates from that end because last week we were looking at the town and kind of some of the work that was done there. And I'm not sure why this is running so slowly right now. Hey, Atlantica, welcome, welcome. Yes, yes, I hope you too. You did too. It's kind of the weather is kind of ugly and it's just an indoors type of type of week. But yeah, other than that, everything is good. So uh, yeah, as I was saying, let's take a look at some of the roads that I was showing last week. It looked, I was from a prototype standpoint. Okay, you had like, it looked like pavement, right? It wasn't anything nice to look at least to my eyes. But that was something that I was trying to focus on this week to kind of get some of this kind of structural elements in place that I'm going to be able to use, you know, um, for now and for forever, kind of going forward, anyways. And so that was a little bit of a process. That was a lot of Blender usage this week, which, like I said, it's always fun to disconnect from parts of the work and do some other parts of the work, and that's what makes it interesting. Oh yeah, it's raining over there. Oh, nice grilling indoors. I've never tried one of those, but I guess they do a pretty good job. Hey, Malicious, welcome, welcome. I'm doing all right. How are you? How are you? So yeah, a couple of the pieces that I ended up making is like kind of this corner piece, so that way it kind of blends in, especially when it comes to some of these large corners around the roundabout. Also, kind of a bunch of these transition pieces to kind of for like say crosswalk or something like that, and also kind of just the little sidewalk pieces to come together, like the corner pieces here, like this one. This is like a full end of the street type of placement, and of course, just the I've tried to blend them together as best as I could to kind of come into this parking lot entrance. Then of course, kind of just parking lots around here, kind of around here with what I think it's a much better and more consistent look to the concrete, like the ground and the pavement, right? And never mind this. This is from like uh, the um, the spline sculpting this area. But yeah, so comparison this, from this parking lot to the other type of pavement, this looks, like it really just got poured yesterday, and it's I think it looks a little bit more realistic with something that's a little bit more, weathered down and you know, to me. And okay, so that was again with some of the sidewalks around here. Uh, I a little bit of kind of a learning experience was the sloping of putting things on a different elevations. Like for example, this street is higher than this street, but then that kind of introduced of okay, well now I got to do the sidewalk in a way that follows the road and also placement of the buildings, and then the parking lot is also slanted, so that was kind of an experience as well. And also the other building is this diner here, where that I wanted to add to the game, and just to complete this end of the town, along with just a non-enterable warehouse because I had this space at the end of it that I wasn't making any use of. So that was the main thing that I was trying to do. Oh, Atlantica, how are you able to keep the frame rate high with all the stuff in your game? Well, it's right now I'm not satisfied with the frame rate because it's not very optimized. And if I jump into game, I can quickly show you. There's still there's still quite a lot of draw calls happening, and I am trying to, using world partition, I'm trying to keep them as low as I can possibly do. So yeah, I'm still, quite a ways to do some better optimization with it. But at the moment, in this scene, let me see if I need to just kind of minimize some of these windows because they take away from the frame rate. So right now, this is running at, I think, around 30 to 40, again with literally very little optimization. There's like, as you can see, there's a ton of actors right now, like 12,000 actors. That's a lot. So I need to optimize that. But like right now, if we just look at the like just the FPS stats, they're like around 30 to 40, depending on, like interiors might perform sometimes a little bit better. Like this one is again around 30, not so great. And this is on high settings. I'm assuming you can probably like decrease the quality a little bit, so just to gain a little bit more. But yeah, this is how this performs at the moment with no optimization. Like again, there's like a ton of actors right now in here that I need to fix, and apparently like a fence that's coming through the wall, which is odd. So, and again, right now I haven't built it, so it's running an engine. Not sure how much that's gonna influence things, but yeah, once you come outside, and again, this is kind of the one of the new areas that I haven't shown last week, and so yeah, the cool thing is, you can mantle over these things here, so that's just from being able to navigate the world standpoint. But yeah, as you can see right now, it's like hovering around 25 frames per second, which is pretty bad because there's a couple of the levels that I haven't put on a world partition grid at the moment. So I think the draw calls right now are like through the roof, maybe like in this, I don't know, like 5,000 range when they should be when I want to bring him down to, maybe to 3,000 at tops, and that's why, kind of just the performance is pretty low. I'm also curious once I build it how that's gonna influence things. But yeah, I'm staying away from nanite, and so that's one of the things that I'm trying to stay away from. And and of course, I've been actually one thing that I was trying to do is I was trying to experiment with um, non-lumen reflections, and they do okay, like even without lumen reflections, depending on the areas. Like for example, take this diner. Like in here, yeah, lumen looks awesome. I love how lumen looks in here. If let me just kind of hide that. But I was trying to, and this is on high, so if you have a beefier, a better video card than my 1070, it's definitely gonna look even better. So, and the performance increase when using, changing the reflections should also help. The screen space reflections, I was kind of liking them to some extent, but especially on shiny surfaces, like the chrome and the likes, like like on the counters and around here. I'm not sure why it just didn't look as good as I was hoping it would. And I ended up, I was trying to, you can see like to the left of the screen, there's quite a bit of noise, and I'm not sure if it's something, like I said, related to some of these like screens, like some of these like thin meshes. But I mean, it's not very noticeable, you know. So the what I was trying to do is use reflection captures and no screen space, so basically none in the post-process volume. And that actually yielded some pretty decent results. Depending on how you place the reflection captures, they can turn out to look quite alright, because with if I was to go to screen spacing here, um, this one, let me see, reflections. I guess there's no, but if let's try using screen space. Yeah, so screen space looks pretty good too. Like in an environment like this, I'm gonna give it that, Definitely could definitely work for something like this. But that's again, it's an option that I'm gonna try and set it up in the graphics option so people can change it. Have you thought about using collision boxes to spawn in the interior of buildings? What do you mean by collision to spawn collision boxes? Like blocker volumes? Yeah, let me know what oh, I have collision boxes to where I walk into the volume, the interior furniture. Oh, I see. Yeah, so the way I have it set up is, and that's why I kind of went with, at least at the moment, I went with this setup with the level instances. So there's like a level instance exterior, right? Which is this, and then there's the level instance interior, which is this. And with world partition, I can set them on different grids, so they only uh, they only get loaded in once the player is really close to the building. So for example, let's actually try it out for a little bit if you guys want to see it. And so I have the interior here, and let me see what grid is this on. Yeah, and that's what I like about the world partition, that it does that stuff for you before, with before level. I think uh, maybe there was an option, but I can't remember what it was. It wasn't world partition, it was composition or something like that that might have done something similar. But with this one, from at least from my tries, it turned out to be pretty simple. So you have like this runtime grid where it says it's spatially loaded, and that's the reason that I wanted to keep them on level instances. I might end up, kind of breaking them down into their individual actors, but I think at the moment this is going to make sense. So I have this diner interior, and I haven't specified a runtime grid. And in my world settings, I should have some grids in here, I believe. Let me see. So I have the main grid, which is kind of a pretty far loading range. Then the foliage, then the large assets, then the medium assets, and then the small assets. So I'm going to try and use this one for the runtime grid with the small assets. And then the cell size is that, and the loading range is 10,000. Let me try and make this a little smaller and see how that works. Oh, yeah. So I think, yeah, world composition was before world partition, because the kind of world partition is their latest and greatest. But But yeah, it took me a little bit of time to kind of try it out and see how it is. All right, so let me see if this is gonna do, if it's gonna work in any way, to see if we can load in some of the actors. Let's take a look at the outliner as well. So 12,092. All right, there we go. So the actors are starting to get unloaded. As you can see, there's, not sure if, let me make it this full screen. So maybe you can see like the counter is gone. Let's see if that sign is gonna go away. I'm looking at this one over here. There it goes. So there's also that sign that went away. So that at this point, everything in the interior is, unloaded. So as you close in, they're gonna see like they start loading in. I'm hoping you can tell it's kind of just small items, but they they kind of just start popping in. Yeah, there. So I think that's a, oh, perfect. Thank you, thank you. So that's a better example of it. And and yeah, you might set it. I think I went pretty low with that value, but at the same time, this particular asset, it has a ton of actors as well, which, I intend to merge together into one mesh. So one mesh that covers the entire exterior, and then, the ones for the stuff on the inside is probably just going to be uh, their individual meshes to some extent, depending on how many of them are. Maybe, stuff like these I'm going to merge into one. But yeah, that's how I'm using the the small assets. So I'm thinking maybe for this one, a load range of 5,000 should be enough. And yeah, you were able to see on the outliner, because right now there's like almost 30,000 actors in the entire world. And once you go into game mode, I still have a ton of actors because there is a lot of them that are not, like these walls for this diner. They're like individual pieces instead of being merged into one. And but now, so yeah, that's what, there's like 12,000 actors, and I want to cut that back by quite a lot. And if I move away, there's others that get loaded, and some issue with like a landscape proxy from a separate level. But yeah, you can tell on the right, all of those get loaded by from how the where the player is. So there it goes. I think at this point, all the actors that were inside of the diner are unloaded, and there's only like what, 11,437. And if I move in, some of them get loaded in. And the other thing that I've noticed is you don't want to have too many of them loading at the same time, because that can cause, stutters in the game. So that was a little bit more of the stuff, some of the stuff that I did this week. But like I said, most of it was focused around the town area, and trying to get this all sorted out and finished. And what I was thinking of doing for today's stream, and also, kind of just getting the roads figured out and laid out in town. And again, it's a pretty small town area. It's nothing, it's it's nothing big, but something that's being lived in. So for today, what I was hoping to do is also a little bit of a, since I had this lake over here, I was thinking, well, the purpose of, having the motel and this little town area, it could be like kind of a touristic attraction. There's like all these mountains, so you can think of like hiking and that kind of stuff. And I thought, okay, next to the motel, I could also have, because there's this little really nice little lake here. I could have like a little beach area with some stairs going down from the motel. It just looked kind of barren back here, and there was like nothing going on. And I thought one night, hey, you know what? I think I should just add that in to add a little bit more of a thing happening over here, right? So that's what I was planning on doing today. And yeah, hopefully it'd be something fun to watch. So let's get to it. And first, let's just edit this level here. And this is another level that has quite a lot of actors, namely when it comes to the roof, being a modular package, there's like a ton of these for like each part of the roof. So, and of course, kind of the windows. There's a lot of the rooms that are not going to be enterable, but they have furniture in them, which is, great. Thank you so much for taking the time to do it, even though maybe copy paste and stuff. But yeah, that's a lot of actors that I'm not going to need. So that's going to cut back on on that number of actors for this level. And like I said, for some of the other ones, just joining the meshes or merging them into one for like to make a building exterior basically should also help because those have a really far maybe uh, runtime grid and if you go to editor preferences and search for framer, if you check mark show frame rate and memory, how many objects and memory usage. Oh, that's a great point. Thank you so much for pointing that out because I don't think I've ever used that. So to be honest, let me see. It's probably gonna be through the roof. And editor preferences. So editor preferences, and in here, framer. Oh, cool, 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 cool. This one, right? Oh, perfect, perfect. Yeah, good. Thank you so much for bringing because I've seen people streaming and I've seen this thing at the top and I'm like, how did they get that to show? Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Here's another reason for streaming. You get people giving you hints like this. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, like I said, it's definitely not where it should be. There's like a ton of these objects and yeah, I mean, I'm actually not entirely sure where this number should be at. Um, so yeah, it's definitely a lot of things in there at the moment. So you're using just and I'm not entirely sure if I'm kind of curious about something. Let me see if that changes at all, if it's like within editing a level or not. Okay, yeah, it doesn't. Okay. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, because yeah, and that depends, yeah, exactly with the procedural stuff. It's and I do use some procedural, like placement tools like that IA scatter tool, but other than that, not so much. And but I really appreciate you telling me this because I'm gonna need to dig into exactly what counts as an object and so I'm only assuming that from here, uh, I can only get better, so yeah, sharing is caring, correct. And so hopefully it's just gonna, I'm just gonna improve from here, because this is kind of like, um, you know, bottom of the performance. Yeah, I'll have to look it up, but this is great to have that and look at it. I've totally. Okay. So let's see. I have some of the stuff here that I need to maybe make a little smaller or see how we can address this part. this kind of this I mean, what I meant was, you know, this object here. And I'm thinking, just gonna go ahead and spin these around. Let me make sure that everything else is on a grid. Yeah, so my hope is that by decreasing maybe the number of objects, not definitely going to try and reduce the memory as well, but you know, hopefully this is just gonna, you know, go up, you know, when it comes to the frame rate. And yeah, like right now, actually, you know, let me try something really quick because I'm kind of curious. Once you go into game mode and the wall partition, you know, grids actually kick in, I'm wondering if that's going to affect the number of objects. Let's see. I'm curious about that. And it just took a little bit of time. And yeah, I guess it did not. Interesting. Even though like they were like, you know, 30,000 actors, it still counts that as, it seems like it still counts everything that's in the world as number of objects, is my assumption. Yeah, well, the FPS definitely went up in game because you know, there's a lot less actors, and you know, the memories went kind of went down slightly, but you know, not by much. I'd like to bring it down quite a bit more, but I'm really curious about the objects and kind of bringing that number down. So in the editor, what happens when you zoom out to view the map? Oh, good point, good point. Let me try that. So let's see, that's everything in the map with like literally everything loaded. So it's as worst as it can perform, so to speak. Um, and I'm actually, yeah, so like 15 frames with everything in there. I'm not sure if any of the open tabs affect that in any way, but but yeah, hopefully we can only improve from here. I think that's the goal, right? So without further ado, let's get back into this one. But yeah, it looked like it didn't change anything. So that's I think that's, you know, as unperformant as this is gonna get. Yeah, it's definitely a project thing, but but I really appreciate this because it you know, some of the other stats that I looked at, they do give some details on things, but they're kind of hard to read, hard to understand, you know, like the stat memory. The stat RHI, you know, definitely has a lot of things going for it, you know, like draw calls and, you know, polygons and or triangles, all that. But this one seems more of a, you know, things that it's easier to understand, you know, like what's going to happen if I start cutting back on like the textures resolution and all that? Is that going to drop? Or, you know, like what happens if I start merging some of these meshes? Are the objects count going to drop? And so on. So, yeah, should be good. Like I'm actually now that I'm looking at it, I'm wondering if I take all these bushes, at least in this level. So right now we're looking at 719,445. And if I was to remove these bushes, Yeah, well, there you go. Um, so, hey, Ali, welcome, welcome. So now, right now there's like 719,000. And if I put these back in, that didn't really affect the object, that object count, did it? It's still the same as before. Yeah, see, that kind of changes depending on, not by much, but yeah, I'll have to dig. Yeah, good point, good point. Let me try that. I haven't actually tried saving, but yeah, let me I'm gonna try and hide them because if I don't want to, if I save them, I'm not gonna be able to undo if I recall correctly. Like you can't undo if you so I'm gonna try hiding and saving. Yeah, that didn't really change much. So that's definitely something that I'm gonna need to look into and try and figure out what influences that number. That's yeah, or actually that's a good point, like 'cause I think if I merge these together, I should be able to get a better feeling and they're not gonna I'm not gonna lose them, I can replace them with that merged mesh. So we can try doing that. Oh, hey Ali, welcome, welcome. Hey Chucks, how are you? How are you? Welcome. All right, so let's try and grab these meshes, these bushes here, and I can recall where it was. Oh, tools and merge actors. So I just get the option to merge them, and let's do. This is gonna be under the motel. And I'm also wondering if oh no, there's this is perfect. It's something good for me as well to do this. So let's try and replace this with, actually 1 second, I need to replace the source actors. So we're looking at 719, 489. So let's merge this. And one of the things that I'm kind of wondering if the objects is everything that I have, because like, the project itself has a ton of packages and a ton of other things in it. So I'm not sure if it counts everything in the project or what's in the current level, if that makes any sense. That's something that I need to check. All right, so let's do, I'm just gonna put a root here. So I merge bushes. And so 719, 489. Let's see if that makes any change to it. Hopefully it's not gonna crash the engine. Well, so and that's a great point on the collision aspect, but with these, I don't have any collision for these bushes, so I'm not worried when it comes to that. But there's some progress. Mangaruki, that's a great question. I actually don't um I guess it depends on the wind. I think it highly depends on the way the wind is set up. Like if it's one of those just the world position offset or something like that. If it's I think it should just work. But so I have this replaced, and it seemed like the number. I'm not sure why, but it seems like the number went up. It was like 489, 719,489, and it went to 514. So yeah, I guess it's an interesting thing. One thing that let me check out these bushes here. One thing that I have noticed is, not sure if this one, once the merged mesh happened, where did it go? Oh, right here. Yeah, let me try moving around real quick, but I wanted to see about the distance field on this one, just to see if these merged meshes would like generate a, yeah, see, that's an odd thing. It doesn't generate the distance fields around it anymore. The good thing is that it's just like one mesh, which is helpful. But yeah, so let's see. Oh no, there you go. That actually dropped. You're right. Um, so that's a good point. Mangaruki, instance meshes would definitely be better. And actually, that's a great point. Let's try some instance meshes because I do have that IA scatter tool, and that was my thought on using it just for things like this that I don't really want them placed as what was I gonna say? I don't want them placed with like the foliage actor like instance, and I just wanted to place them on like a perfectly on a spline like this one is, right? There's like a line going that way and a line going that way, and so I think with the IA scatter tool, it should do just fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna edit this level here and remove these bushes and just commit the changes because it seems like the count might be a little bit different between when you're like editing a level and outside of editing a level. But yeah, I mean the objects drop by a lot. So now let's try with that IA scatter tool that is gonna create instances anyways. So let's see how that's gonna do. It's kind of interesting that that thing went up to 719, 502. So let's add one of those bushes in here, like that. There's one, and maybe we add the other one as well as variety, just to add this one in here as well. Oh my God, I'm sorry about that. Hopefully nobody's ears came off. But yeah, so this one is 530 at the moment, as you can tell. And I mean, there is a ton of instances, but I don't think I think it will be better if, once these are in place, that they you go into the tools and then merge this actor down because it seems like the object count got brought up quite a bit. The other thing that I want to test is, and bear with me for 1 second, is so let's take this into account. I'm going to go into that the test level that I have. Let me see, where is that? So let me go into that empty test level and see what the value for this is, because it looks like it's a level type of thing, right? Oh, the mic volume, did it go down? It's all the way up in OBS. It's like this, so I'm not sure. I don't have any control over it besides this. Can everybody else hear me okay? Oh, let me see. How about now? I kind of just adjust the microphone to be a little bit, hopefully a little bit better position. Maybe if it sounds a little bit better, let me know. It seems like the arcs or like the little things in OBS, they keep on going up and down. Oh, thank you. Like you were talking into the mic. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. All right. Well, this is what's kind of uh befuddling, I guess. It was one way to put it. Well, the memory went up by a ton. Like, um, oh, perfect. Thank you, Atlantica. Thank you for that. So the the memory went up by 50%, like from around 10,000 to like 15,000, over 15,000. And then the objects, yeah, they went down by, about what, 200,000? Yeah, this level has a lot less of a draw call count, which in the end is the main culprit. But yeah, I guess there's no real correlation with the memory and the level. So that's kind of okay. I guess it's going down now. Let me see if I zoom out a little bit. No, it's still right around 15,000, and the objects it's still the same number. So that's definitely something really good to look into and see what can be adjusted to help with performance on that end. So I'm gonna dig into that, Atlantica, if you wanna check out what how it looks on your end, if there's any adjustments, and I can hopefully bring it up during maybe next week's stream or something like that if I find kind of what causes that number. So yeah. Well, let's get back into that level. And as you can see, like the difference in frame rates are not really correlated with the memory usage or the objects. Um, so yeah, it's always great to have like a 60 over 16, like a 60 frame rate over a 16 millisecond, but hopefully it'll get better. So yeah, back in here, let's see if yeah, so see, oh, the memory one is going way up now on this level. Why is it going up? It used to be like around 10,000. Now it's 20,000. Hey, Omiyaki, yes, thank you so much for stopping by. Have a good night. Hopefully I'll see you in tomorrow's stream. And yeah, so now the frame rate is like a 32. I'm not entirely sure how this is gauged. Yeah, it'd definitely be something interesting. I'm gonna reach out to a friend of mine about that he works for a game development company to see about some of these optimizations and what these mean. But yeah, like right now the frame rate is quite proper for what I'm expecting. And but as to why this thing went back up or like it doubled, I think it was 10,000, right? And now it's more than double what it was. Go figure, I guess sometimes it's there's some digging to be done, but yeah, I love having these over here. Thank you. Yeah, oh yeah, good point, Polysphere. Hi, welcome, welcome. I always tend to do that when I go into game mode, like minimize the tabs and such, and yeah, there you go. So it uh, much better performance. But again, it didn't really address this memory usage here, which I guess there's some things to look into. But yeah, because right now, like it's got a decent frame rate, um, especially on my video card, which is great. Okay, so let's do a little bit of work here. I was saying that we're gonna try and get some of this thing done. Uh, so the memory statistics, yeah, that's what I was thinking, that the amount of RAM that the engine is currently taking. That was my thought, but I couldn't really. Uh, I wasn't gonna say it because I wasn't sure. Like it could have been like the amount of GRAM, I think is what it's called, right, for like a GPU. But the total number of objects that have been claimed by the editor. This is the total number of, huh, but the editor as a whole. Oh, I see, I see. Oh, yeah, so that makes sense. Like if you take into account that level was pretty barren, I think it had, very few actors. It totally makes sense that the this amount of objects does not really refer to anything necessarily related to this level in particular. Yeah. Okay, so this one seems to be getting the distance fields, which is good. So I'm going to try and do a zero point 0.5 to 1. Actually, that bush is pretty large, so let's do a zero point 0.2 to zero point 0.5. And just going to keep these at 0, so it's kind of a consistent scaling. Yeah, this tool is awesome. Like I said, I highly recommend it. All right, so let's do, what else do we want to do in here? A little bit of a smaller spread, and we can bring down the count as well, like that. I think we can bump up the scale. Oh yeah, let's do some random rotations on these. No spline rotation. And I think I was gonna look at the scale, make this maybe a 0.3, 0.6. That's a little bit better. And let's see, the stalls statistic displays the total number of times the engine has stalled during the current editor session. It will go up when the engine's instance has been non-responsive for at least 5 milliseconds. Oh, so for whatever reason, I was like, um, I was thinking that is, I was thinking of some other type of stall, not that it, kind of just stole, like it froze. But I can see it. Excuse me. Maybe from the aspect of, kind of jumping into game mode. I'm not sure if that tally goes up, once it stalls like that. Or the other option could be due to when there's like a small, like a quick stall when some of the levels might get loaded in. Some of the levels might not be on the right grid, and it's going to try and load it, and maybe if it has a ton of actors, it just freezes. But yeah, yes, exactly. So the FPS, that's pretty good to know. And Beanos, what's going on? Welcome, welcome. All right, so let's add another one of these kind of, whoops, not like that, but like this along the ends here. Try and keep this a little tighter. There we go. So that kind of makes it pretty decent. And I think that's as far as I want to have this the edge of this, and basically here would be like some stairs going down to this little beach area. Should be fun to do. How are you doing, Beanos? Welcome. All right. So what I was hoping to do with these pieces here is try to like spin them around first. Hopefully they're as close on a grid as possible. Let me try and set them on a grid. So 59. It's going to be, I think, on the x-axis. So let's bring that to 50. Well, I think they were almost like on a grid. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's uh, it's been a good week, as best as it can be. So I'm hoping to do this area here where this there you go. Oh, that snapped in pretty nice. Perfect. So the area by the lake where there's going to be like a little beach area, so to speak. And that kind of, when I was thinking of doing it, I didn't want to add another layer to my landscape material, so I ended up using decals, and I'll show you what I did because it actually turned out quite okay, just for the sand. Okay, so let's what I'm gonna try and do here is I'm gonna delete these, and then I'm gonna try and make this one smaller. I'm kind of curious to see if it's gonna, now that I think about it, it might look a little odd. Let's see. I'm gonna try and get it to maybe 0.5 and 0.5. Yeah, see, like it changes that textile density between this surface and this surface, which I'm not very happy with, but we can work with that. I think it's just going to be a little bit of how are we going to adjust that? And I think the best way is just pulling these two sections in here, like right under the motel, and let's see how it looks over here. And that should be pretty good. I can scale these out a little bit to kind of get into the road up to there. Should be fine. And now like the smaller pieces, I can uh, I can move those onto the other side. Maybe I don't even need to, and I think I'm not gonna. Yeah, I think that's how it's gonna be. All right. So now the motel is in place. I can just commit these changes here. And try and kind of work with this slope over here. Let's see, what do we want to do? I think first I wanted to use what we already have here for some of these stairs, kind of going down to the beach. Maybe we'll see how that works out. I guess I'm just going to go back in and quickly, find where these are located. There we go. All right, so from here on, we have this little concrete piece over here, and it's perfect because it's separated by uh, this little divider, and I can just use it here. To kind of start working my way down from here onto the beach. because the beach, what I wanted to do is I wanted to flatten this area a little bit more. So let's see how that's going to turn out. You know, kind of like this. So as you can see, this is where I meant to use the the stairs. So I think I'm kind of creating work for myself, so why not just grab things from here? You know, like this kind of is already set up, this little, you know, up and down section here. So I'm just going to try and use that. And I think that's what's great about these packages that you have in the marketplace. As I was saying, there's like a lot of work that goes into just, you know, building these. You know, as you can tell just by, you know, from the placement of these pieces, it's it's pretty time consuming. All right, so I think this could start off as a good point to kind of duplicate these and try and place them around there. So then let's see if we can use this one to continue on, you know, the going up the hill part. What I wish for is if there was a way to extract the selection of these from a level instance, that would have been kind of cool. But I think there might be actually a way to do it. So let's try that out. If you bear with me for a quick second here, just need to select these. And what I remember seeing is there's an option to place these in their own little level. And at that point, you can that level can be broken down and extracted. So I think I might have everything selected. Let's see, did I miss any pieces? Oh yeah, these two down here, that and that, and the one over here. So I think you can like right click and in the level, you can create a level instance. So first, let me just quickly save it. So let's right click and create a level instance. And yes, okay, new level instance. And I'm just going to call this just to save it. Just going to be the beach access. And save. Let's see what this turns into. And it's yeah, that didn't really, I don't think that really worked because it created a level instance inside of a level instance. But that's not to say that if I was to go ahead and let's see if we can we delete this? There we go. So now we can just commit the changes for this and drag in into the main level now. Drag in. Oh, interesting. And the memory usage went down. I guess so. But yeah, the stalls, kept going up. So let's place another level instance here. And let's, for the level, just going to use the beach access level. There it goes. And at this point, this one can be broken down to, break level instance. And that will extract all the actors and place them into this into the main level. So basically, it just adds that into to here. So they're not a part of a level instance anymore. Like if I was to select this one, you'd see that everything is grayed out. But now all these individual pieces are part of the main level. So yeah, there it is. The one thing that I guess I should have done is actually do a little bit better job at the placement of this contraption, and uh, and that's where kind of the level instances to me they're helpful because I can just go in and edit this particular level instance or just move everything around a lot easier than having to like what I'm trying to do now is like I'm gonna have to go in and select every one of these. Oh man. But and unfortunately you can't undo. So yeah, I think that's a thing that you can't go back from. Like once you've broken the level, you can't really reverse it. But for now, luckily there's not that many of these, and these I need to remove anyways because they're facing the other way. So I think that could stay, but yeah, let's try and get these in. Let's see, I'm hoping that these are actually just the pieces right here. Good thing is I don't have any other things named like this in in the level, so some of them were pretty easy to select. But then we have these terrace columns. So for this one, I'm just going to try and use a group. And then these ones are the somewhat, for whatever reason, called the terrace floor. There we go. There's just one more column here and one over here. All right, so I'm just going to group them to make it easier to get into them and make changes. All right, so let's see. We're just going to try and place it over here. And then this one, let's try and do a small ramp from here maybe to here. Kind of like that. Okay, there we go. I think that is navigable now. And from here, we'll try and like turn this around and go this way. Or would it make sense to go this to this end? I think it might be easier to go this way. Let's see how that works out. And then we'll bring the player in and see how easy it is to navigate down these stairs. That was another thing that I kind of spent some time on was collisions. And that restaurant was like the main culprit to some extent, but it worked out. All right, so let's just gonna try and sculpt here a little bit. All right, so this one could be like this. Hmm, I don't know. I mean, this is one of the things where I'm failing here because this particular it's not like angled at any like 90 degree, 180 degree to the building itself, which and it it's gonna have a weird connection. So I'm gonna try and make it as maybe like this. So that way it's facing straight on to the to wherever it's gonna connect to the ground here. So let's see, that should be a little bit better. It seems like even the stairs look a little bit more natural, kind of coming towards the beach instead of just to the side of it somehow. So let's go with this and try to adjust the stairs as well. So this one's going up this way. And this is, for example, this is a perfect example of a mesh that's just going to get merged together. So this entire section. And you know, there's like right now I just have 45 actors selected, but you know, once this is done, it might be close to 100 or more. So yeah, let's get to it. Continue on with this. All right, so let's do a quick flatten here or smooth maybe. There we go. And now the only other part with this is if it's on a grid, because I do love the grids, but it seems like it could be rotated 5 degree. There's like a 5 degree offset in this, right? There's like a 275. So this one is a group. I need to turn it this way a little bit, like that. I think that should be a little bit better. And hopefully now we can go into it and make changes. So the thing about the grid, I'm just gonna try and adjust these pieces here because I'm gonna start going off of this one, and let's try and place them as best as possible and adjust these things to be like 40 or 45. Okay, 45 does it. So I can keep him at there we go. And now I'm hoping if I change this to 5, okay, that's pretty good. They seem to be kind of a continuation between them. I mean, ideally it would be like over here, but I'm not sure how perfect these are either. But they do fine. Okay, so now just gonna add another platform in here. And yes, I want to delete that. I forgot that some of these platforms, they do also have like a little bit of this little edge to it, just to give it a little bit more of a better look. There we go. So I think, let's see, how do we want to do this? Let's do maybe another landing. I think that's what you would call these, like a landing, like every section of this. And there's that. And is that almost where it needs to be? It seems pretty close. At least I think I got the angles right. There we go. And here I'm going to try and actually just sculpt the terrain. Oops, that's a little too much, but we can flatten it. Let's see if we can kind of bring it close-ish. There we go. Paint a little bit of gravel. And then with the help of these pavers, we can have somewhat of a transition between that concrete and this here. Okay, well besides this, what should be over here, I think we can use let's kind of try and navigate this with the character. Let me check the collisions first. So let's take a look at the player collision. I know I've been through, there we go. So these are actually good. Perfect. is the start here? All right, well let's kind of try walking down those steps and see how it looks. Okay, that seems pretty good. Yeah, so that was just, almost 5 frames just for me minimizing the tabs that are like the content browser that I had open, and but that seems to be working okay from like the point of collisions. And we're down here, which apparently is underwater. At least there's a post-process volume, I think here that's the underwater post-process volume. So I just need to adjust that. But it looks like it was able to navigate to go through these steps without any hitches or any kind of you know um, blocking into something. And now I think it's just a matter of let's finish off this this decking with like the guardrails and all the other pieces. So let's add that in. The one thing that I'm not sure why, but I kind of felt like it was bothering me a little bit. It felt like these handrails, they seem a little tall compared to the player. Let me try and look at it from like a third person view. Whoops, going a little too far there. Yeah, so see, I feel like those guardrails are like you can mantle over them, but they are really they seem really tall. So maybe we can adjust them a little bit. Though I think this is going to end up being a little bit of work that needs to be done in Blender because scaling, especially like these ones, I don't think these are going to work out so well. Yeah, see, like I have to spin them a little bit. So I'm gonna export because there's like literally 3 models to Blender, and then just kind of scrunch them down a little bit so that they're not that tall. But yeah, and let's finish off the guardrails. Some of these posts over here, they're not really where they should be. There we go. That's better that way. And then we'll also kind of dress up the area a little bit with some like rocks and something like that, kind of along this this uh, this side of the motel. All right, let's get it done. I was just gonna say, I hope there's like another size for this. And these two, I need to replace with their shorter piece here. There we go. I'm guessing another method to address the height of the guardrail would be to just lower it down. Not sure how that's gonna look if I bring it down like that. Hmm. Kind of looks okay. I don't mind it as much, but I'll give it a try offline to to just scale it in Blender. All right. Well, let's move on. Oh yeah, and not to mention that a ton of the stuff that I had is under the level, which is from like the previous world that I had. So as you can see, there's like a ton of actors just sitting there that that are not really in the world. I mean, or visible. There we go. That's good. But I do have to say, Lumen is quite awesome. I guess not all of them, uh, come into perfectly in place. There we we go. I think the one thing that I'm also going to do is export this one because this particular set of stairs look pretty flimsy, like really, really thin, kind of from like a play set for kids. So I'm going to need to make those a little bit thicker. Yeah, this thing is slowly starting to come together. Yeah, there we go. All right, this one should be a straight shot because it's pretty just in line. There we go. Excuse me. All right, I'm actually kind of thinking of also doing like a little bit of a, kind of revisiting the swim in here, just to hopefully I didn't break anything in the meantime, but we'll try that out as well. Okay, I think that's position where it's supposed to be. Just need to bring this forward a little bit. All right, that's better. Just so that I was trying to make it so it meets the corner of this. There we go, and luckily we should have a corner over here that we can use. So that piece, this piece, and that piece. Hopefully we can use it here. Okay, well, almost there. So these, okay, almost in place. All right, so more or less, the the stairs are in place. Let's try and do a quick walk down the stairs here. And we'll try to dress up the area with some kind of boulders and stones for that kind of drop. And there's no audio. I'm not sure if you would have been able to hear it anyways, but there's no physical material on the stairs, so that's why there's no like like the wood sound. All right. Well, this part here is, so we have the beach, but I think I went a little too low with it. So I'm gonna need to bring the terrain up a little bit because I don't want to modify where these reeds are. I mean, the level where everything is, for like this scatter tool and everything else on the lake. So I'm just gonna adjust the terrain a little bit to to account for that. And let's see, where is a point where it's kind of like above the water, maybe around here. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. Actually, not sure how deep the water is over here, but that should be fine right there. All right, so I was talking about using some of these, also using some of these decals to account uh, for the sand. So it seems to work okay. I'm um, I'm satisfied to use these. The only thing is probably the alpha that I used for this material. Let's try and change this because it's not really the best one for such a surface. I just found like a noise, and this probably needs to be something like this. Let's see what else. This one, not that one. Definitely not that one. I mean, this one could work if we adjust the opacity a little bit, just to get some edges around it. So something like that. I'm gonna try and see if there's any better uh, of these opacity masks that I might have. I mean, they're okay-ish, but they could definitely be better. Yeah, so that's what I was intending to do for kind of the beach surface, to imitate like a little bit of a sandy area. All right. Well, let's finish off the stream with finishing this area off and trying to dress it up a little bit better than this ugly looking stretching of of the of the terrain. So I'm just going to use one of those big rocks that I've used in the past. And we'll see which one works best. you go, just something like that. That's what I was looking for. And of course, as we've used in the past, I want to bring it over here now, since we're just doing this things, is some of these Iascata tools with some of this kind of fallen debris. Where are we? Over here. I think I grabbed both of them. Yeah, I think I did. I was gonna say, are they are they even gonna show up? But there they are. And I'm gonna try and adjust them to follow along with kind of this edge of the lake. All right, so that's a good place for it at the moment. So there's that one. There we go, kind of like that. And then these ones. Whoa, that's a there we go. Oh, that's a little mess going on over there. There, just like that. I'm trying to get some of them spawning on this side, but and I believe they did have. So there is a couple of settings in the tool for the way to to um, to treat the overlapping, but it depends on where it hits on the spline at that point. And as you can see right here, it just happens to hit on that location. So that's what I was just trying to kind of bring them under the ground a little bit for a couple of these points. And hopefully none of them spawn over there. So we have them over here spawning, nothing here. Let's try and bring this point above the terrain. And there we go. I think that's gonna work. Even though this section here is a little bit too messy. So I need to kind of do the same thing. All right, that's better, definitely. There we go, slightly better. I just needed a little bit more fine adjustments around here, but yeah, let's add some more of these, kind of these big boulders, cliffs. All right, so that's starting to come together. If I can put another one over here, like that. Yeah, I think that might just do. Let's give it a walkthrough, and I think we can call it good for today. And let me actually test the little swimming if that still works. I can't recall. It's been like I said, it's been a while. All right, so there's like something poking through over there, but having these rocks around it, I think definitely kind of fills in this area. I was thinking that I was going to be bothered by these rocks over here, but not so much. I mean, I'll see if I can place them a little bit better, but these seem to be okay. This particular decal doesn't seem to want to load properly. All right, so yeah, it's just the point of entrance where it's and yeah, you probably can't hear it, but there is like instead of the swimming, there's like the noise of just walking, which is a little odd, but yeah, there we go. So it's just where the post process volume is located for this water body. Like I think I might have shown in the past. There's like I have this water level, and but I believe this one, the um, the post process is oddly located. So I'm gonna need to address that. So hopefully, maybe tonight and you know, getting to fix it. So yeah, there we go. We have this little area with the steps going down to the beach, and yeah, I think that covers at least what I was planning to do today. Hopefully, it was something interesting to watch. And I know that, I did uh, learn, I learned something, and that's a plus, always a plus for me. All right. Well, thank you everybody for stopping by, and I hope to see you on the next one tomorrow, same time, 11 a.m. Eastern. And I'll post it in Discord and also in YouTube, of course. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and see you tomorrow. Bye.